if he were to go in and invade, as he could, the entire country, or a lot less than that as well, for Russia, not only in terms of economic consequences and political consequences, but it'll be enormous consequences worldwide. This would be the largest, if he were to move in with all those forces, it'd be the largest invasion since World War II. It would change the world.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, and a lot is happening in the world, and we have a lot to discuss in this video. So if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I have been talking about all the global events and patterns and predictive programming leading up to the very circumstances we find ourselves in today. Many of those videos were banned and deleted against my consent, so please consider following me on Patreon for those uncensored videos. However, the remaining ones are left on my YouTube channel all under a playlist, and I recommend watching them chronologically to really see what happened play by play. One of the videos discussed the next crisis we will all be facing, which is coming closer and closer as we speak. And it happened to be a tabletop exercise, just as Event 201 was, and we all know what that turned into, as well as a food chain reaction game, which has to do with food shortages, which I talk about greatly on this channel. And it's under another playlist entitled Prepping, Off-Grid Living, Farming News, where I follow the agricultural industry, what's changing, what's going on with that, and things the news just isn't telling you. So we will talk a little bit about our food supply a bit later in this video as well, so stay tuned for that until the end. But something I want to mention is that Build Back Better has basically been put on the back burner, and the common phrase in all the media tabloids are now, our world is changing, or a changing world, or words paraphrased in a similar fashion. And I want to take a brief walk back in history where we remember an article where Putin, among many other leaders, have discussed in the past that openly stated his goal of a new world order. To make this video simple, we will just define a new world order as a changing world, just like the tabloids say, where things simply won't be the same, whether you like it or not. And I have to bring up the famous picture, as I always do, where in order to invoke change, chaos must occur. And who creates chaos? Well, our leaders. But who is blamed for the chaos? The people. And how does their desired order form? Through chaos. Hence the famous stained glass window, order out of chaos. But now the narrative has took a bit of a turn, and we decided to blame the Russians. So, you see, as predicted in one of my most famous but quickly deleted videos of all time, in early 2020, I told everyone on a live stream, which, by the way, I did record and download to my computer, so anyone who wants to watch the full video can find it on my Patreon. And I said how the US has great tensions with many people around the world, with many countries around the world, and how we have been threatening to sanction Russia with what is called in the headlines now the mother of all sanctions for quite some time. The problem is that no one has been paying attention to those threats until now. And this is all leading to the USD collapse. Not only is Russia out of SWIFT, but everything else is strategically hitting the fan for quite some time, my friends. This is the perfect storm, and through watching my playlist where I cover the progression of what is unfolding now step by step, you will understand how perfect this storm really is. Now, did anyone happen to notice that simultaneously as the tension progresses, we have also been having and will continue to have major rate hikes? This is bad, guys. Remember a long time ago what Trump said?
And the only thing that looks good is the stock market. But if you raise interest rates even a little bit, that's going to come crashing down. We are in a big, fat, ugly bubble, and we better be awfully careful.
Now, of course, a lot of this is to blame for the crappy leaders we have and all those stimmy checks. But the USA was saved by the scapegoat of Russia, and we can blame them now for our financial implosion, even though this has been a global goal among the elites for a very long time now. We discussed this in a previous video as well. So now Russia is mad, right? And guess what's coming? That's right, back to what I said 2 years ago. But forget about me. Let's talk about what Jeremy Jurgens said was to come. Now, we have been undergoing tremendous neurolinguistic and predictive programming on the topic of cyber attacks now for quite some time, and I covered it in numerous amounts of different videos on this channel and on my Patreon. Now, something I have discussed both on this channel and on Patreon is about bank bail-ins. Folks, this is already happening in Canada, in Europe, in the United Kingdom. They will freeze your accounts and not allow you to receive funds, all in the name of released emergency acts, or simply the freezing and annihilation of any record of your account, where you will not be allowed to access your money. That's right, they will take your money. In the United States alone, there have been more and more physical bank branches closing, but no one is talking about it. And if you haven't watched my bank bail-in video, it is on this channel, it is still on this channel, and I highly recommend you watching it. Now, we have discussed through the wildfires last summer, the Texas snowstorms and the turbines, and the security in our power grid, and the new laws enforced. The World Economic Forum has discussed several different measures they are enacting, all in the name of cybersecurity, and we've touched on them in a few different videos. But you know what isn't secure to them, folks, is anything that can't be tracked. Welcome to the digital dollar. And it will come with a red cape on its back just in time to save us from our regular US dollar collapse. Oh, what perfect timing. So speaking of timing, let's discuss the perfect timing of two missile arrangements that randomly, yes, randomly, no one can explain why or how this happened, destroyed Russian cargo ships that were exporting food. Wheat prices are soaring. If you didn't know, Russia is a very big exporter of wheat, and their ships are getting targeted by missiles. See, missiles aren't flying paper planes. You don't make one and throw one and hope it lands across the river. Missiles are very precise, targeted, and tracked weapons, and for them to land on a cargo ship by quote-unquote accident, where quote-unquote no one knows why or how, raises a few concerns for me, and I hope it does for you as well. Now, being that Russia has been basically blackballed out of the SWIFT system, shippers are cutting them off completely. That's right. 30% of the world's grain exports are being stalled on purpose in the Black Sea. The United Kingdom just recently passed a law, I believe on March 1st, that bans all ships with any Russian connection from entering its British ports. Russia is essentially blackballed, and it affects everyone, not just Russia alone. And by the way, if you haven't seen my Zero Carbon Agenda video, this is fitting beautifully into one of their goals, where they want to completely end the shipping industry in the name of zero carbon emissions. We see food prices soaring. Our security is threatened. The US dollar is weak, and it will soon implode. Digital dollars will have a red cape. Gene-edited food will have a red cape. Cybersecurity, meaning more tracking of you, will have a red cape. And the zero carbon agenda, for what they call it, is in full effect. The world is changing, and I just wanted to touch on these changes in case you didn't see them. I hope you enjoy this video as well as many others, and remember, God is in absolute control, and we must endure and we must watch. So please share, like, and subscribe to this channel, and thank you so much for watching.